use cases of blockchain technology. So blockchain technology can be used for record keeping. It can be used for doing the transactions. So when you refer to the record keeping part of it, so you can store some of those static information in blockchain, which can certainly be helping to act as a single immutable source of truth. So we can use it specifically for any kind of static registry. So in this, you can maintain the registry of your assets, your ownership. You can provide the automation of specific assets in this case. So the real world use case examples can be the land titles. So if you are trying to do some kind of land registry, if there's a change of ownership which is happening from one person to another person in terms of you are buying a property, you are selling or buying a land, you can certainly use blockchain this. The second use case, an example, is the gift card ownership. Suppose if you have a gift card, you want to change the ownership of that gift card from X person to Y person, you can certainly use the blockchain technology. You can use the blockchain platform to store the records. And the third real case example is change of custody, right? So if there is any kind of different chains of custody is changing across, right? So transaction X uh, changes the custody of the asset from person Alex to transaction Y, which changes it to person Bob. In that case, this chain of custody can be stored on the blockchain technology. So that's an example of static registry usage of blockchain technology. In terms of the second use case, we can see it can be used for the identity purpose as well. So it can help you to securely store, confirm, distribute identity related to the records. So you can certainly use it in a more secure way. You can confirm and you can distribute the identity and required information. And obviously, if you want to revise your personal information or data, there can be ways and mechanism by which you can update it by the blockchain technology as well. So let's try to see the real world use cases. So if you want to store your bank, credit card details onto blockchain technology to enable usage of easy proof of identity, that can be the way, right? So if there are some national identities which is there, which can be used for any kind of identity purpose, you can use it. I have seen employment, different employee organizations, they try to ask for some kind of documentation, your mark sheets. So those things can be stored on the blockchain technology for establishing the identity of the documents. The third use case, as we call, is as a smart contract, right? So the smart contracts is a self-executable piece of code when you create and execute a semi-autonomous contract, which can be distributed on a digital platform. So smart contract is certainly one of the use case of a blockchain technology, where when the certain condition get fulfilled, the piece of code get executed automatically. So you can use smart contract for insurance claim payout. You can use it for the cash equity trading. You can think of, if you're trying to put some of those things, you can think of even releasing music, based on those smart contracts, right? So there can be a smart contract between two identity, and once those conditions get fulfilled, organization can think of, coming and releasing their music through the smart contract usage. So when, if those certain free conditions are fulfilled, there can be a new audio or video release, or music release can be done across. The next thing, so we talked about these as a record keeping use cases for blockchain. Now let's try to see the transactions part of it, right? So in this case, you can think of, explaining and looking at the dynamic registry. So blockchain technology can be used as a dynamic registry. So you can do exchange of physical and digital assets on a digital platform. So that's how it can act as a a dynamic registry as well. So it can help you to streamline and lower the overall transaction cost. So it helps you to address the kind of liquidity mismatch in case of the loan funding. Next, the idea for the usage of blockchain in terms of transaction can be the payment infrastructure. So, blockchain-based payment infrastructure based on the efficient payment transfers with, which enables a lower level of frictions, or it improves the overall record keeping. So, blockchain-based technology can be certainly used in ensuring that any kind of conflicts can be avoided through the payment infrastructure, which can be based on the blockchain technology. So the real world example is the peer-to-peer lending through the Bitcoin or blockchain network, or it helps you to disintermediate banks. So there's no need for the banks, because banks, they charge some of the transaction fees, which is at times can be as high as 7 to 10% in case of international transactions. So that kind of cost can be avoided and can be saved through the payment infrastructure facility of the blockchain technology. The last one, as we call, is a verifiable data. So so when you store the data on a blockchain technology, so the information gets stored over there, it becomes easily accessed to ensure that it is secure. And the second is, if there's any kind of dynamic updation, that can also be happen. And the most important thing is the data which is there, you can be rest 100% sure that it is a verifiable data. So that's how you can think of ensuring the blockchain technology to be a use case for this. So you can use the event tickets booking through the blockchain. You can think of putting a registry of independent artists working to protect their intellectual property rights through the blockchain technology. So these are the few real world use cases where blockchain technology can be explored and used across. Yeah, so these are the few of them. There are multiple of it, and yeah, if you want to explore more, you can always find it from this McKinsey source site, which is available. So wherever there's any kind of third party being involved, you can certainly think of cutting those third party through the likes of blockchain technology in place. So as we see now, this is a pictorial representation of how and what is the maturity of blockchain technology in terms of different sectors. So in terms of how the feasibility, so can the feasibility be lower or high, and how is the overall impact in terms of, is it creating a big impact, right? So if you see the overall blockchain, if you see this across, right, so it have relatively higher impact if you go, and so it's moving on the upper side of those quadrant, and it have a feasibility also being higher. So overall blockchain as a technology is one of those technology which is having high impact, and it's really feasible as well. In addition to that, if you see the individual sectors, so let's talk about, say, agriculture in particular, right? So in agriculture, with the feasibility, if you see, it's on the lower side, and the impact is again on the relatively medium size, right? So you need to see and find that why it has been, say, lower or higher side, right? So there can be various reasons, because in agriculture is such a widely distributed disintegrated field, right? So to bring everyone on the platform of blockchain is, it's tough. It's relatively not feasible to bring everyone, right? So that's the reason why the feasibility side is relatively low, and the impact, certainly it is impactful, but then on blockchain, specifically in agriculture, so how are you going to build that across, whether you're going to build all the products which is there, which is used in agriculture sector, to be put up on the blockchain technology, whether you will be bringing the insurance part of it. So we have to be very specific when you're trying to put across. Similarly, you can see other use cases for art and recreation, for automotives, for financial services. So if you see, financial services is the most feasible if you see this across, and it is having a greater impact as well. Similarly, the use cases for the healthcare, insurances, manufacturing, mining, property, public sector. If you see public sector, again, there can be a very high impact, because public sector touches all the people in general, right? So it have a very high impact, and the feasibility wise is also there, right? So retail sector, technology and media and telecom sector, transportation and logistics. So transportation and logistics is one of those sector where you can find it across. And then you can always think of other sectors in terms of utility as well. What is the use case and what is the overall impact?